Hello, darlings. I am Cassandra. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for coming. The reason that we do not sometimes take action in our life is because the part of us that is responsible for taking action, for us moving ourselves to the next level, is the part of ourselves that we are usually most afraid of. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk to you about some, I don't know if I should call them entities or beings from the planet Mars. They're called Warzarks. I have created them. I'm going to show you them and the message that they gave me and what I was thinking about while I was creating them. And we're going to talk about a little bit about the difference between a wizard, a warlock, and a magician. This is going to be a little bit of a video that's a little all over the place. And I'm going to tell you about the angelic spell of ricochet. It's the ricochet of retribution spell, and I'm just excited. So we're just gonna pop right in this video. Now, I guess I should show you one of my Warzarks, which is a combination of a wizard and a warlock. And when I was making it, I thought, this is not what I'm supposed to be making. Like, this doesn't make sense. I've never seen anything like this before in my life. So this is a Warzark from the planet Mars. And I know the ears, and the thing that bothers me is I don't even know if I could make this again if I had to. Like, I don't even know how I made it, how I formed it. Like, oh, but look, the little hat is just adorable. And I love it. The little, I don't know if it's a wizard hat or a warlock hat. I know some of you guys are so nosy, like, oh, let's see what's on the back of that. You might not want to know, okay? But anyway, so this is one of the Warzarks from the planet of Mars. Mars is the planet of aggression and war and taking action. The symbols are I think it's a sword, which is for attack, and the shield is for protection. The color is red, and it has to do with sometimes being impulsive, but it's about moving forward and taking bold, passionate action in your life. This is another Warzark. And I just love how I allowed them to, when I was making them, I just allowed them to create themselves. I wanted to give them earrings, right? And they were just like, no, I don't, we're not into earrings. But it has a herbal mixture, a gemstone crystal mixture that was downloaded to me during meditation. And just gonna show you a little bit. A little hat of this thing. You know what, guys? I couldn't make this. Oh, sorry. I couldn't make this if I wanted to. Like, if I tried to think of how I was going to create this little hat or this little look, I wouldn't have been able to do it. But I trusted the process. I think I made maybe this one. Oh, one more. I just said they all kind of look similar. Even when I was making them, I thought, what's going on? Like, what is this? Why do you look like this? Who are you? But as I was making them, I thought about a guy I met at Barnes and Noble. So let me tell you a little story. Sorry, my ring was kind of hitting the microphone. But anyway, I met this guy at Barnes and Noble, and this is the whole time when I started making them, I didn't know that, per se, to be honest, what they were going to look like. I didn't know they were from another planet. I didn't know that. When something comes over me and I can feel that I'm being guided, I just let it happen because some really good stuff comes. So while I was making this Warzark, I was thinking about this guy that I met at Barnes and Noble a long time ago. And we both frequent Barnes and Noble, and I was studying. I think I was finishing up my doctorate degree at the time, and he was there all the time, and so we just struck up a conversation. So we just kind of got used to seeing each other. But he said to me, anyway, I told him the story about my professor and why I had to. I went to one college. University rather, and my professor was insisting that I engage in this inappropriate relationship with him, and he was the chairman of my committee. And so I'm telling him, I'm just getting so tickled. So I'm telling him this story about why I had to start over and go to a whole new school, and how it was just putting me in so much debt. And, and how when I would go to pick up it was my proposal for my dissertation, my professor would come to the door in his underwear, and he would try to entice me to come into his house to go over the changes that the committee had made to my dissertation. And so I'm telling him this, and I'm just like crying. I'm sorry, I'm so tickled. I just hate when I laugh like this. It's all loud. But anyway, I'm telling him how, how I refuse to engage in any inappropriate relationships with my professor. And he looked at me, and I'll never forget this as long as I live. He said, God was giving you a gift and you wouldn't take it. And I said, no, I was not gonna sleep with my professor. Like, what are you talking about? He said, no. He said, first of all, he came from another country, and he said that when he first came to America, he lived in an abandoned building for almost a whole year, and he used dirty carpet for covers, and he ate out of the garbage bins in the back of restaurants. And he said he never complained because he knew that he was going to make it in this country. He didn't have any friends or family here, and he was determined to be somebody. So now, of course, he was, very successful. There was no personal relationship between us like that. So if anybody thinking that, no. And he said he was just very determined to make it in this country, because he said this is the land of milk and honey if you are gritty and if you want to make it. He said when this guy, because my professor was calling my house and all these things, he said you should have been taking pictures with yourself. Because he said you didn't take pictures with your cell phone. He said you didn't record him. He said, oh my God. He said, you should have blackmailed him and been able to finish your degree. He said, you're up here complaining about a gift that God gave you. He gave you he said people just want to be victims. People just want the world to feel sorry for them so they can whine and complain, when God is always giving you a way to take the lead in your life. He said, I would have loved that opportunity to blackmail my teacher who was trying to sleep with me. He said, oh my God, I can't believe you didn't see the opportunity right before your eyes. Guys, I was flabbergasted. Like, what? Like I'm not. He's like, no. He said, you weren't being a bad guy. You were taking advantage of a situation. Somebody was trying to take advantage of you, and you were looking at how to use this opportunity to turn it around in your favor. He said, that is the way you're supposed to always look at life. Now, I'm thinking about this. Like, he's looking at me. He's side-eyeing me. I swear to God. He is looking at me so tough. But while I was making my little Warzarks, this is exactly what I was thinking about. And I was thinking, like, so what are you trying to... What is this about? What is this energy that's being channeled from these Warzarks? Because they told me they were a combination of a wizard and a warlock. And that I should look up the difference, but they're from the planet Mars. And so the Warzarks are here to help me integrate my shadow self into my personality, so that I can be more productive and be able to elevate my life to the next level. Because being a person who is unable to look at a situation and see how it benefits me, as opposed to looking at myself as being a victim. So while making these Warzarks from the planet Mars, for the first time I decided to reach out to my male ancestors. Well, my dad passed, I think it was, I can't remember the year, maybe 1997 or something like that, but I've always talked to my dad. But I was reaching out to my grandfathers. My paternal grandfather was my father said that it was two brothers who came over on a slave ship, one of the last ship to America, and his name, I don't want to put his name out there, but anyway, so my grandfather and his brother came over to the Americas on a slave ship. And then another one of my maternal grandfather was a Mason, and he did some things that was considered, I don't want to get into it, right? All right. So I reached out to my grandfathers, my paternal grandfather and my maternal grandfather. My paternal grandfather reached back out to me because I could feel his vibration all over me. And I feel him now. Hi, Grandpa. And I asked him what did he want. I wanted to, I always do the cross the board to my ancestors, known and unknown, but I wanted to know if he wanted something specific, and he wanted it. I don't know if I want to tell, but he wanted something, and I obliged, gratefully. My other grandfather, so this is what was chilling. So what came to me as I was making these entities, these beings, these Warzarks from the planet Mars, that my grandfather, that he tried to sacrifice me because of some of the things he had done. And that's why I had a very difficult life and childhood in particular. So I don't know if I ever told you guys about this, but so when I was a little girl, when I was about, I'd say maybe about 8, eye of a sewing needle broke off in my left knee. It was a very freak accident. I was sewing some doll clothes for my Barbie doll, and I was just crawling around looking for the needle, and the eye of that sewing needle broke off in my left knee, and it set up a gangrene infection, and the doctors tried to amputate my leg. So I was in the hospital. I was tutored for all of the 4th grade because the doctors were trying to save my leg. So my left knee, it doesn't bend all the way. It just bends enough for me to ride a bike, for me to walk correctly. But let me tell you what happened. And I have forgotten, I don't really think about this often. But so, like I said, the doctors, they were, because of the gangrene infection, they couldn't remove the needle from my knee because they said that where it was lodged under my kneecap, I would have had to walk with a brace for the rest of my life. So they chose to leave the needle, the eye of the needle, inside of my knee. And they had these huge machines, these antibiotic machines, with where they were cleansing my knee. And I was in the hospital, and I had several surgeries. I have this long caterpillar mark on my front of my knee and the back of my knee. And they told my mom that they were going to do everything they could to save my left leg. And so I'm a kid at this time. I really wasn't thinking about, you know, my left leg. And I wasn't thinking about the implications or how my life would be difficult, because I was probably about 7 or 8 when this happened. So anyway, the doctors were, you know, I'm blessed. They were able to save my left leg. And for a while I couldn't walk. I had to kick my left leg out in order to walk. And so anyway, one day I went to church, and because my family was Baptist, I went to church, and the pastor said that all you have to do is ask Jesus, and anything you ask Jesus, he'll do for you. And the Christmas that year, when I had the injury with my knee, my uncle had bought me a brand new bike, and I was never able to ride the bike. And I thought, I'm gonna ask yeah, I'm like 8 or 9. I'm gonna ask Jesus to, you know, I want to ride my bike. And so my mother had this picture of a crucifixion, you know, where Jesus, it was like a postcard with Jesus on it, and he had his hands open with the little wounds on it, and she kept it on the bookshelf, like a built-in bookshelf that was a part of a wall in the home where we lived. And I took the picture, and I put some rubber bands around the picture of Jesus, like you know, imagine like I had a rubber band here and a rubber band here over my knee. And I took the bike out, and I said, Jesus, I want to bend my knee so that I can ride my bike. And I kid you not, I had been in all type of therapy. I had physical therapy. I had been going for like almost a year, and my knee still wouldn't bend, and I was still kicking my leg out. And so when I put this picture of Jesus on my knee with the rubber band, and I got on my bike, my knee, you could hear like the and my knee bent that day, so that I was able to ride my bike, and so that I was able to walk straight. Now it still doesn't bend like, you know, like how people can go back on both of their legs, but I can run, I can walk, and you wouldn't know if I didn't tell you. And thank you God, thank you Jesus. Like, I don't even know if I ever said thank you, but anyway, I remember coming in the house, I told my mother, I said, Ma, the preacher said all I had to do was ask Jesus, and he bent my knee. I bent my knee, and and then from that point forward, I was able to walk correctly. So after the incident with my knee, I never touched the needle again. Like, I was done. I mean, I was obsessed with like sewing Barbie doll clothes. I wasn't making dolls, but I loved just anything with thread and needle. And I mean, I just stopped. I didn't touch it again until my late 40s, when I started making the dolls, the Jungle Beauty Goddesses. I just didn't touch it at all. I mean, I went to school, and my mother said she did everything she could to encourage me to sew again. And she said I was afraid of needles. I was completely afraid of needles after that. But so the Warzarks were telling me that there was always a force, so to speak, that was pursuing Cassandra. When I was a kid, I could see ghosts, and it was just, I've always been very aware of different dimensions and different beings my whole life. So, but what was interesting is an ancestor trying to redeem themselves by sacrificing me. And that came to me while I was making the Warzark. And also, and I've said this before in other videos, there were incidents. It seems like some of the, I was, when I was 12, I'm going to say my innocence was taken from me behind a church. And that really put like a dent in my relationship with God, right? So what was coming to me while I was making this Warzark is that this force, this energy was always trying to destroy my faith in God, destroy my relationship with God. And that's why even like this professor at this university, he was a pastor of a church, and he asked me to meet him at the church anyway, I'm gonna get into it, but basically so I was like, what is this with the churches? But it was because they were trying to, and my ancestor was a pastor of a church. Okay. So basically, there's this, I hate to say this, but what came to me, now I don't know if it's true or not, from the Warzarks, from the planet Mars, I know I'm not looking real sane right now to some people, is that my maternal grandfather was a warlock. He was a warlock, and that and I felt that, that energy, and but this is the bad thing, like I feel somebody right now, is that I have that energy inside of me that I have been suppressing, and it has put me in a position to allow people to take advantage of me, because I am not operating in my full power. So even though I am trying to be anything, sorry, I was saying sorry, I made a mistake and hit him a little bit, just a tap. I'm trying to make sure that I'm anything but him, because I don't want to be associated with anything that's dark or wrong or evil or bad. But there's also, it's almost like a knife, right? You can use a knife to cut your food, and you can also hurt someone. Or water can, you drink it and it nourishes your body, you can bathe in it, but it can also destroy villages and homes and take, you know what I mean? So everything that is extremely powerful, it has the capacity to do both good and evil. And sometimes when people are afraid of their Mars, their shadow self, the part of them that takes action, bold action, the part of them that takes them to the next level, that doesn't allow themselves to be bullied, the part of them that is the winner, who, when everybody is reaching to get the finish line, and you're able to tap into this reservoir of energy that comes from Mars, it comes from your shadow self, and you need that energy in combination with the good energy. Now that's what was coming to me, is that even though I have maybe been ashamed of, grandfather, but I am his granddaughter, and his blood runs through my veins. And sometimes we think that if we do good and we let people run over us and take advantage of us, that God somehow smiles on that, or the universe is proud of. No, that's not how it operates. That's not how God operates. God is lying. I've found. And so anyway, I don't know, these Warlock entities, fabric beings that have come to me, they have been very their energy is very gentle and very powerful. I mean, I thought I made these little swords for them, and they were like, we don't need swords, baby. Yeah, like, you don't want this. I thought it would be cute. They didn't want the earrings, they didn't want the swords. It's like, no, we know who we are. We want you to know who you are and what you're made of. So, oh my God, so they're just looking at me so intensely. Their energy is just, I've been keeping them, they're right around me now, and normally I keep them a little farther away. But so anyway, the difference between a wizard and a warlock and a magician is that, and I didn't know it was a difference, guys. A wizard is a scholar of occult knowledge and wisdom. They acquire their skills from studying, from learning about the elements, from learning about how things work, and they use these skills from studying and from research to do good. They are benevolent, and so basically they are scholars of the occult. A warlock is a person who acquire their power from entities outside of themselves, whether they are demons or fae or spirits, and it's usually to do something malevolent. How do you pronounce it? Bad or evil. I want to say maleficence. You don't know what I'm talking about. So so their power comes from a source outside of themselves. A wizard, they require their knowledge and power from studying, and it's like a practical skill that they develop, and they use magic as a tool to do good. And a magician is a person who is born with magical abilities. Okay, so they don't study it and they don't get their power from anyone else. They are born with these powers. I know, right? So the Warzark, 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 they are encouraging me to make sure that I study, continue to do scholarly work and research and learning about the occult and learning about hidden knowledge is very important. Not to use beings, other entities and spirits to do anything negative, but not to be so naive as to allow people to use dark magic or energy towards me to try to control me. And so anyways, and that the magician aspect of it is that I am my grandfather's daughter. There is a part of that element of being magical, or is a part of who I am, and to intertwine all of this you know, these abilities, and to become comfortable in my own skin. So anyway, whew, that was, I don't know why I always have like a hard time saying things when I think people are like, this girl crazy. I'm not, I promise you. So so anyway, I thank these beautiful Warzarks for being in my presence. And so when I was meditating, well, actually I dreamt about a spell, or a magical ritual. I don't know what you call it, guys, but it's called the Ricochet Spell of Retribution. It's an angelic spell, and I'm gonna show you. So what came to me was a herbal mix and a crystal mix, and some of the herbs were in the Bible, and I was led to it through meditation on how to make this ricochet, it's an angelic ricochet spell of retribution, where it's like this angelic fabric being is given the power to, like, let's put it like this: if anybody is sending negative energy your way, that not only do they receive it back in the way that is most powerful and most suitable for them to heal and learn their own lessons, right? And then also the tender spot, like they were explaining to me, like sometimes people say, oh, there's no such thing as karma, you don't have to worry about, getting your stuff back. But people don't know sometimes that there are people in their family who are, not happy, or there's things that they wonder, why is this happening to the people that I love? Because it's you getting your stuff back. It's stuff that you have done, but when it's done back to you, you wouldn't feel it. So sometimes it hurts the things around you, so that you can understand what it feels like to do certain things to other people. But anyway, this spell, ricochet, spell of retribution, so they instantly get all of their stuff back immediately. And what was coming to me, I'm gonna tell you what woke me up, was me being a little girl, singing I'm rubber and you're glue. Everything you say or do bounces off of me and goes right back to you. That's what woke me up in the morning. I'm rubber and you're glue. Everything you say or do bounces off of me and goes directly back to you. And how it was like these little kids singing. And so then when I was meditating, like I said, I was led to the Bible. I got the herbs and the gemstones for this particular spell. And also, when somebody is sending positive energy your way, that it bounces, you are able to share that energy with them. Like, so you receive the positive energy, but the person who sent it to you, they also receive the positive energy they send to you. So it's retribution, it's ricochet, because whatever is bad or good, if it's bad, it's blocked and sent back to the sender, and if it's good, you both share in that energy, and it's magnified and enhanced. So let me show you this angel. So this is she has the original spell, a ricochet, the angelic ricochet spell of retribution. And so I made her. She has a little angel wings, and let me set her here. And this is another little angel that I made. Let's take it back a little bit. Her little angel wings. I actually made this for someone that I love, my beautiful and sweet Reiki master who can deal with Cassandra. So anyway, I was given this spell and this incantation to create this, and the minute I created it, I'm telling you, it was just so much peace. Now, I haven't put them for sale in my Etsy shop, guys. I feel, listen, I'm an artist, and I need like a lot of like quiet time, me time. I'm a hermit, like you know what I mean? Like, I could literally go into hiding and not come back, right? So tonight I just taken a shower, and something was like, just make a quick video, because you have to kind of keep a online presence. But anyway, I do plan to make these dolls and put them in my shop. They are made out of goat leather, and yeah, so it's been a ride. So I know this video has been a little bit all over the place, but if you received anything from it, I would say take a hard look at your shadow self. Don't let people run over you because it doesn't benefit you and it doesn't benefit them. It's not I'm not saying, oh, just be some mean or vindictive person. Sometimes the people that we are most ashamed of, they gave us a gift, but it's how we use it. It's been a journey, and I'm still on this journey. I have some more angels to make. I have to finish book 4. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you darlings in the next video.